Mahindra Namaskar. My name is Vishal Pagare, and today we're going to discuss about engine and its component. Before we could discuss about this, let's discuss about four-stroke. How does four-stroke engine works? So here these four strokes are. Very first stroke is called intake. Intake is also known as suction stroke. Second, that is compressed stroke. Third is called power stroke, and the fourth and the last stroke is called exhaust stroke. So this is how this four strokes plays a major role in the working of engine. And for better understanding, I have drawn a simple structure of engine. Before we could move ahead, let me explain you the basic things which are available. We can see here, this is a cylinder, the round shaped cylinder. In the cylinder you can see one piston. The piston is connected to the connected rod, and that connected rod is connected to the crankshaft. Above here in the engine head we can see two valves. One of them, this side is called intake valve, this is called exhaust valve, and the center you can see one injector. As we're going to discuss about diesel engine, so here we can see a injector, fuel injector. So let me explain you how this four strokes works. Alright, as we discussed, very first stroke is intake stroke, which I also mentioned as suction stroke. So let's discuss about this. What is stroke? Stroke is the piston going down, coming up, again going down and again coming up. These are called the movement of this piston is called stroke. In this very first stroke, which is intake, which means from the intake valve, the air, only air, being the diesel engine, only air get entered into the cylinder. That is the first stroke. So it's very simple. It simply happens like whenever the functioning starts, the intake valve opens up, takes the air into it and gets sealed again. Alright, that means the air which is present in that cylinder, it is completely sealed. That is what happens in the first stroke. Second stroke is called compressed stroke. So as we discussed, second time the piston comes up. So whenever piston comes up, it compresses the air, and because there is only air which is available inside, it compresses on the higher extent, which is also generating a more temperature of, or giving the more temperature to the engine, to the air. That is what happens in second stroke. Third stroke is called power stroke, which is the most important stroke. However, it's a diesel or petrol engine, the third stroke remains same. What happens here is, in diesel engine, the air which is entered, which is compressed, in third engine, through the fuel injector, the fuel, that means diesel, is spread or injected on the higher temperature fuel air. And because the air was already higher temperature, so it get burned, and little bit small blast happens there kind of, and that's how the power gets generated. Alright, and after that obviously the power is generated, that means the blast happened, the fuel is burned inside, and that burned fuel has to go out for the next stroke to happen. So that's how the exhaust stroke is given. From where? From the exhaust valve, the burned gases expels out. Alright, and that's how the working of four-stroke engine happens. As we discussed, I am repeating again: intake, compress, power and exhaust. Intake, compressed, power and exhaust. That's how the particular or any of the engine generates power from these 4 strokes. Now, after the basic 4-stroke functioning, we are going to discuss about the parts of engine. In parts of engine, this is a basic structure which I have made. Now I'm going to discuss with you about the individual parts. So let's start with, very first is turbocharger. Turbocharger is this. This basic component is called turbocharger, which is very useful for the engine to take more breath. To explain this turbocharger, let me give you a small example, day-to-day life example I would like to give. I'm sure you must have seen the makka wala, a bhutta wala, when he has his flame, and above that he keeps his those corns. So actually what he does is he pours more air towards that coal, so that the flame should increase. All right, what exactly happening is, when he put those fans up, or when he waves those fans, it is throwing more air, and that air is improving or enhancing the flame. All right, same here. What turbocharger does is, turbocharge has 2 fans into it. One is called turbine fan and one is compressed fan. So what happens exactly is, it runs with the help of exhaust gases which comes out from the engine. With those burn gases, the turbine fan starts moving. All right, and apart from that, with compressed fan which is attached vice versa, so that takes more air, and that air then get passed to the intake valve. But before passing it to the intake valve, it also has to go from one intercooler. That intercooler, what it does, it get the obviously when the air is passing through compressed fan, the chances of air to get, or the temperature of the air is high, and that high pressure air to get normal, the air get passed through the intercooler, and then the same air send it to intake valve, and that's how the circle completes here, and that's how the turbocharger works. All right, apart from, what is the advantage of turbocharger is, the more tech which helps in generating more power, and that's also very efficiently. That is the functioning of turbocharger. Apart from turbocharger, second part that we're going to discuss is piston. So piston is this component is called piston. The advantage of pistons, or the working of piston, is to compress the air, or as we discussed about the 4-stroke, to complete those 4-stroke, piston is the most important factor here. All right, which like very first stroke was the suction stroke, the second was compressed. All right, those all strokes get completed with the help of pistons. Third is connecting rod. Connecting rod is this rod is called connecting rod. Like, it is always connected to the piston, and the use of this connecting rod is to convert this up and down movement, and that convert it into a rotational movement by sending it to crankshaft. All right, and this particular component is called crankshaft. So here both of them are playing, the role of both of them is same. What they are doing is, the connecting rod, which is connected to piston, it converting the up and down motion to the circular motion by sending it, or by connecting it with the crankshaft. And thereafter the crankshaft is connected to the other components of the engine, which helps in rotating the power. Apart from crankshaft, let's discuss about camshaft. What is camshaft? Generally, camshaft is this. It is available in the engine head. And what is the use of camshaft? Camshaft has two components or types. One is SOHC, that means single overhead camshaft, means a single shaft controls functioning of both the valves. That is single overhead camshaft. And another is DOHC, that is double overhead camshaft. That means two different shafts who controls the functioning of valves. These are called valves. This is called intake valve and this one is called exhaust valve. Who helps in inhaling or exhaling the gases. Alright. Beyond that, we also have got rocker arm in the cylinder head, which are also connected with the camshaft itself. The rocker arms helps in completing the work of valves. They adjust the opening and closing of valves. Generally, rocker arms used to find in the push rod engines, where the push rod used to connect it with crankshaft and that push rod used to adjust the functioning of valves. Alright, that used to be called rocker arm. And the very last thing, that is called fuel injector. This fuel injector, as this is a diesel engine, so in diesel engine you find a fuel injector. The functioning of fuel injector is to inject the fuel in the cylinder at the time of 4-stroke. And being the diesel engine, it has got fuel injector, but in petrol engine you'll find a spark plug there. The functioning of spark plug is to send the spark in the cylinder chamber for combustion. Alright, and that's how guys we discussed about the different parts of the engine who helps the engine to function and complete the work that has to done. After the different part of engine, now let's discuss about the engine. There are two types of engine. One is petrol engine and another is diesel engine. Now we discussed the functioning of petrol engine in our parts of engine, where we discussed the 4 strokes. There we discussed in 4-stroke, the very first stroke was that the intake stroke. There the only air get inhaled in the engine, and the 3rd stroke was power stroke, which was creating the power by injecting the fuel. But here, if we talk about petrol engine, in petrol engine, air plus fuel both gets into the engine through the intake valve. Then the compression happens, and in 3rd stroke, here they don't have fuel injector, but they have spark plug, which sends spark on the air and fuel mixture and burns. That is the very first difference between petrol and diesel engine. That I discussed 2 things. Very first, the 1st stroke and 3rd stroke. Alright. Now, if we discuss more about difference between petrol engine and diesel engine, so let me discuss. The petrol engine has got low compressed ratio and diesel engine has got higher compressed ratio, and because of that, the low compressed ratio creates low power and high compressed ratio creates more power. If you go moving further, if you talk about maintenance, so the petrol engine has the low maintenance compared to a diesel engine. The diesel engine comes with higher maintenance. And beyond that, if you talk about noise, here the compress ratio is low and the diesel engine has got compress ratio high. Due to that, in petrol you find low noise compared to diesel engine. The diesel engine creates more noise. Also, if you talk about the some problems, so here in diesel engine you will find more problems during starting the engine up. But in petrol, that problem will be very less. And the very last point I would like to discuss about the difference between petrol and diesel engine is the petrol engine comes in lighter weight vehicles and diesel engine comes with the higher weight of engines. So that's how the difference between petrol and diesel engine was. Beyond that, I would like to discuss more about the components. Then the components I would like to discuss about CRDI. So what is CRDI is? CRDI is called common rail direct injection. Very simple it is, as mentioned, common rail. They have made common rail to supply fuel, and direct injection, like the fuel get directly injected in the combustion chamber. Now, what is the use of this common rail direct injection is, in common rail direct injection, what it does is, it supplies fuel to each cylinder on higher pressure. Because of that higher pressure fuel, it creates low noise, less vibration, less harshness. Beyond that, also it helps in creating more power and more mileage. That is the advantage and benefits of CRDI. Apart from CRDI, one more component is there, that is called MPFI. Now what is MPFI? This is called multiple points fuel injection. Now these multiple points are added in this engine. Especially you will find this MPFI in petrol engine and CRD in diesel engine. So if you talk about MPFI, there are multiple points are added to inject the fuel, and this again helps in the same way. It reduces down the wastages of gases. Also, it also helps in enhancing the performance of engine. So that's how both the components are very important. This is for diesel engine and this is for petrol engine. Now I would like to discuss the next topic in our engine and component, that is power. Let me discuss what is power is. This is a power get generated by the engine, and what exactly power does is, power is how quickly the work can be done. Generally, suppose like the vehicle runs on its top speed, it's all because of its power. And generally, this power get measured into PS or BHP, that is preferred stroke or brake horsepower. That is what called power. The second thing that gets generated by the engine is torque. Torque, it is in straight one line. If I have to explain the torque, that is the pulling power of the vehicle. The vehicle moves from another place, that is because of torque of that particular engine that generates. And this torque get measured into Newton meter, that is Nm. And also this torque gives the pulling power. The more torque means more pulling power from the engine. Third thing that I would like to discuss is power to weight ratio. Now what is this power to weight ratio is? It is a ratio of the power that to the weight of the vehicle, which gives the best acceleration and best fuel efficiency to the vehicle. And that's how the three most important things that get generated by the engine, which provides in better fuel efficiency, better speed and better pulling power to the vehicle.